Alright, kitting the Fer De Lance. The Fer De Lance, it's kind of cheap to fit. Let's just go to outfitting. So, eventually, there we go. What, I started off with about 100 million. I'm down to about 81.6. I'm at Shinrada Desra, which is the Founders World, so everything here has a 10% discount. So call it 20 mil to outfit, so about 22 mil in the real world. Now, a few things, I'll tell you what, I'll just go through weapons first. In terms of the hardpoint mountings, you've got a lot of flexibility here in your utility mounts, but not so much in your weapons. So a huge hardpoint, the problem with huge hardpoints is that there's a limited number of items that you can mount as a class 4. You can mount cannons, plasma accelerators, and I think fragment cannons. So there's not a lot. You can't mount a pulse laser or a beamer or a multi-cannon, because there's just no class 4s of those. I don't think there's any class 3 multi-cannons either. So in here I just shoved a cannon, big ass cannon. The class 2s, the class 2 mount, weapon mounts, there's 4 of them. I can see this being a bit of a problem because you want to, if you've got that many class 2 weapons, you probably want to split them. And if you've only got a primary and a secondary fire key on your joystick, you can't effectively have all of your weapons split the way you would like on a single firing, what is it called, firing solution thing, fire mapping. So you might have to actually have a number of different weapons mappings to get you there, and you have to shuffle between them as you're fighting different targets. In this instance, though, I just shoved 4 E2 pulse lasers in these class 2 mounts. Those things only run about 19,000 a piece, so they're pretty cheap. It'll be interesting to see how they go on power. In terms of the 6 utility mounts, huge amount of flexibility here. Now, I just stuck on 2-point defense, one on top, one on the bottom. 2 shield boosters. Shield boosters are a passive, a new item added in this upgrade, in this patch. They're a passive item that increases your shield strength and correspondingly increases a recharge time and time for your shields to come back up. So they're a passive boost. You can stack them. It'll be interesting to see how they work. Standard shaft launcher and kill warrant scanner. With 6 hardpoints, I mean, you could drop a booster and a point defense and crowbar in there, a frame wake scanner and an interdictor, and you could have a lot of different things that you can do with this ship. Internally, I haven't done anything in terms of the hull plating. There is a new module that you can buy in here, which is a hull reinforcement. Which is over the top of your standard hull plating. So this is the same for hulls as the shield booster is for shields. It makes your ship heavier and affects the flight characteristics as a trade-off between, instead of having longer recharge time on your shields. On the FDL here, I found you've got to have an A5 power plant. You've got to have the biggest power plant you can get, because with that rather what I would say meager loadout of weapons and utility points, I'm using 20.86 megawatt. Available on an A5 power plant, 20.4. So you're already over power. So you're going to have to use your power management settings to disable something when you flop your hard points out. Thrusters, at the moment I'm still on D5 thrusters. I really should probably upgrade those. I'll do that in a minute and show you what the impact is. The frame shift drive, you're going to want an A4. You always want the biggest one you can get your hands on. Life support, standard D4. The power distributor, you're going to need the A6 or a B6 power distributor. It's a big ass power distributor. The 6 class is going to give you sustained firepower in this ship. You're going to need it to power those 4 class 2 hard points. It's the same power distributor you've got. Actually, I think you've got a 7 on the Python. So you might actually have power problems with the ship if you're not careful. Sensors, standard D4. The fuel tank. The fuel tank's a class 3, which means you hold 8 tons worth of fuel. That's not a lot of fuel. I'm going to take this sucker out and give it a fly around, but I think you're going to find that overall your sustained jump range is going to be limited. You're going to be refueling moderately often. The shield generator, I actually crowbarred in an A5 instead of the A4 instead of the Class 4 that it came with. That should give you, heaps and heaps of shields. With the shield boosters as well, you should be, pretty sweet. The fuel scoop, I stuck in a B4 fuel scoop. You never stick in an A-class fuel scoop. There's just no point. Shield cell banks, they've been, I don't know if you've used them recently, but they've been nerfed. They have one use per shield bank, and they do cost you a fair amount of heat, and they have a delay attached to them. Then I just threw in the last two items, I just threw in two cargo racks, a Class 4 and a Class 2. A Class 1 and a Class 2 for a whole 6 cargo. You could crowbar in a Discovery scanner and something else if you really wanted it. What's the impact of all of this? I talked about the power. The other one that will get Zig screaming is the jump range. It is a combat-ish craft, which means it has the lower jump range. Unladen 14, laden 13.8. So say it's 13.5. That's coupled with the small fuel tank. This is a short range vessel. It's not an explorer. It's a combat craft. It's a bounty hunting craft. You're not supposed to be traipsing all over the universe in this sucker. In terms of cost, I think I started with 100 million, or pretty close to 100. I'm down to about 81.6. So I'm at Shinrada Desra, the Founders World, so I get a 10% discount on everything that I buy. So this cost roughly 20 million, so let's just say to outfit as I have, it would cost you about 22 in the rest of the universe. So yeah, there's some ups and downs on this guy. I'm not sure how this is going to pan out. I'm going to take it outside and give it a bit of a flop around and see how it looks.